Hi everyone, I'm Liz and welcome back to Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. Hi everyone, welcome back to Flosstube episode 105. I am back for my bi-weekly Flosstube update and to share with you guys what I've been up to these past 2 weeks. Craft-wise, mostly stitching, some sewing, and yeah, why was I gonna keep going? It's just cross-stitching and sewing. But I guess I have been sewing on some new things, which I will show you, which I'm very excited about. You probably got a sneak peek at that if you watched last weekend's kind of sewing vlog. Yeah, let's see. What have I been up to for 2 weeks? Rob and I went on 2 date nights in 1 week last week. Who even are we, leaving the house after dark? That was really fun. We had a date night downtown in one of my favorite restaurants that happens to be right across the street from the Austin City Limits live venue. And so we had dinner. We had some good barbecue dinner one night and went to a live podcast that I really enjoy. And 2 of my sisters bought tickets and came and joined us for the show, which was a lot of fun. And other than that, I've just been working and hanging out with Rob and my sisters and sewing a lot and cross-stitching a lot. Oh, we got our bluebonnet photos back. I think I talked about this 2 weeks ago, right? For my mom's birthday, I decided, like, wouldn't it be fun to book a photographer to do full family photos and kind of like individual family photos and just something fun like for my mom to have. And we got the photos back and they're really, really cute. So hopefully I've been putting in some of my favorites right here for you guys to see. I haven't printed any yet. I'm waiting for my mom to tell me which one she wants to print, although I think she might just want every single one in a book that she can flip through. I think that's what she told me, so I might just have to make some executive decisions and pick the ones to print and put in a book for her because I don't know if she can pick through all these photos. Let's see. So other than that, I've been getting ready to go to Stitch North. I am going to Toronto, Canada next Thursday for a cross-stitch retreat, and I cannot wait. I have not been to a retreat since September when I went to the Quilter Station retreat. So I am very much looking forward to going to a retreat. This will be my first retreat, I believe, that is more just, I shouldn't say stitching focused. They're all stitching focused, but this one doesn't have kind of like class-based. The ones I've been to in Quilter Station in Kansas City are very class-based. Designers come, they present a project, you work on the project, and of course there's sit around and stitch whatever you want and chit-chat time. But yeah, it's kind of like got some structure. So this is the first retreat I'm going to be attending where it's just kind of everybody in a room stitching on whatever they want, doing kind of whatever they want. There's, I think, some shopping. There's a smalls exchange. There's, like some events and stuff. I've made some dinner plans with some people. But other than that, I don't really know what to expect. I think it'll just be us sitting around at tables, chit-chatting and stitching. Speaking of which, I really need to double check my portable light. I just realized since I don't go to a ton of retreats, I don't have like a lot of retreat gear. And the last time I went on a retreat to Quilter Station, my light was kind of right. I just wasn't able to keep it charged so that it was bright enough, and I kept having to borrow lights or chargers from people. So maybe I need to do a last minute Amazon light. If anybody has like a really good retreat light, like a portable rechargeable light that they like, please let me know because I might need to do a little emergency Amazon run before Thursday. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So I'm also excited to go because I haven't been out of the country in, I think, 5 or 6 years. I wouldn't say like I've traveled internationally a ton, but I've been to Ireland several times for work. I've been to Amsterdam to visit cousins. I've been to France, and like the Caribbean and Mexico and some places. And I've been to Canada once before. I went to Montreal when I was 19 years old, the summer, I think between my freshman and sophomore year of college. One of my best friends, who actually just turned 40 yesterday. Hi, Lana. I know you're not watching this, but happy 40th birthday. We celebrated that last night. I forgot that was another thing we got up to this week. We celebrated a 40th birthday. Anyways, that friend and I have been friends since high school. We went to the same middle school, but I don't remember if we really hung out much. We became friends in high school and have been friends ever since. We actually still work together. I shouldn't say still, we work together. So like we're still like in close contact and touch a lot. And she and I went to Montreal when we were 19 just for fun, and it was a great time. But that's the last time I've been to Canada. So I'm excited to check out a new city and go to Toronto. And Kathleen, my friend, Situation Normal on Flosstube, she is going to take me to Niagara Falls to do a little bit of sightseeing on my last day in town. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And also just really looking forward to seeing you, Kathleen, because I haven't seen you since my wedding. And I can't wait to meet Shiloh and Elizabeth and Shelby and everyone else who has told me they are coming. I'm very, very excited to just like be social and talk about cross stitch with people. Yeah, so, oh, it's so annoying because I have some fun things that I'm planning on bringing to Stitch North with me that have like come in or I finished making them and I like don't want to show because those people might be watching this video. So I'm gonna have to hold it. So let's see, next Sunday, I wouldn't normally have a Flosstube and I won't because I'll be in Canada. So then 2 weeks from now, I should be back. Well, I'll be back home, assuming my flight doesn't get canceled. But I'm just thinking out loud, I'll probably do like half of that video, or maybe I'll do a standalone. I don't know. But I'll have a Stitch North recap video at some point and I'll get to share all the fun stuff that I can't share in this video, even though I want to. So I need to remind myself to take little clips of that so I don't forget to show you guys. Yeah. Okay. I think we should get into the next segment, which is a fun and new thing for this Flosstube channel. So there is a new quilting and cross stitch book out that is called Summer Memories, and it is by Susan Aki, and she is Yard Girl 60. I'll put her Instagram handle up here on the screen. If you don't follow her Instagram, you definitely should. It's beautiful, beautiful quilty and cross stitch inspiration. Her home is like amazing. She has a red sampler wall that is just like perfect. I like just dream about her house and interiors. She did a live stream with the Fat Quarter Shop Flosstube channel, or no, was it their quilting channel? I think she did it with the quilting channel a couple of weeks back. I'll link it down below. And I love just looking behind her into her house and seeing the room she was in. I love her home decor. Anyways, beside the point, Susan Aki is great, and she released this new book, and it is through the Fat Quarter Shop's publishing company. It's So Emma. And they asked if I wanted to host a trunk show of the cross stitch products. And I was like, yes, that's awesome. So they sent me all of her wonderful cross stitch finishes that are included in this book. So yeah, I'm going to show that to you now. Okay, here is the entire trunk show of all of the cross stitch designs, plus a few cute little extras that came out of the Summer Memories book by Susan Aki. So let me go through all these one by one and show them to you because they're super cute. There are 11 cross stitch designs included in this book, in addition to, I think, the 8 quilts that are also in here, all using the same kind of color scheme, all in the very like patriotic summer gorgeous colors. So let's start with Cherry Season. So this one is Cherry Season, and Susan stitched this on 32 count Zweigart light pink linen, and she used 2 strands of Ara Floss. The next one is called Free and Brave, and she stitched this on a 32 count Petty Point linen. I believe this is raw natural. Again, using Ara Floss. All of her models use Ara Floss with 2 strands over 2 on 32 count. And they're all finished as little pillows, except for, of course, the bigger piece. And they're all stuffed with crushed walnut shells. And I think a little bit of, what do you call it? Fiber fill in some of the corners, but these are so cute. Next is Freedom Flowers. And this one was stitched on a 32 count ice blue Zweigart linen. And I love this. I think this is a Minnick and Simpson quilt fabric that's on the back. So cute. And it looks like Susan does the same method I do, where I just leave a hole for turning at the bottom and then hand stitch it closed. That's my preferred method. There's a lot of different methods out there for finishing pillows, but that's the same way I do mine. Next up is this one, which is Hope. And this is a framed finish. This one came framed from Hobby Lobby. And this is stitched on 32 count antique white. I love this little cherry border. She features that on a couple of pieces. I think this one, okay, maybe it's just two, but yes, I'm obsessed with this little cherry border. The next one is called Peace. And this, I think, is definitely the little smallest one of the bunch. It has the same little rickrack finish that I used on something I'll show you in just a minute. But yes, super cute. This one was also stitched on 32 count antique white linen by Zweigart. And another little Minnick & Simpson plaid on the back that is super, super cute. Next up is this one, which is called Proud and True. This one again was stitched on the ice blue 32 count Zweigart, and just a gorgeous pillow finish. And she used this piping with rounded corners to finish it, as she did on the cherry season as well. I really like that look. If I had had some piping at home, I might have used that on a finish, on a pillow finish, but I need to get some piping so I can do this type of little finish here. And again, it has the crushed walnut shells inside. So cute. I feel very much like Kimberly doing this top down, showing you guys things. Next up is Sail Away. And this one, again, she did it on the 32 count Petty Point natural linen. And I really love the introduction of some wool felt into the finishing, along with the quilting cotton. Super cute, and a little tiny, tiny rickrack detail. And then we have this one, which is from this one is called Shining Sea. And this is stitched on a gingham 32 count. Let's see, is it a Weeks Dye Works? No, this is a Zweigart linen. This is called Baby Blue Gingham 32 count by Zweigart. And I did see on the Fat Quarter Shop's Flosstube that they are going to be doing some gingham colors in 14 count coming soon to their site. So if anybody wants to look out for some gingham linen, I think you might be able to check out Fat Quarter Shop soon for that. So again, just so cute. And this one uses kind of like a pre-made rope trim, which looks really nice. And then I really love how she added the rickrack just straight across the back for some added detail. Super, super cute. Next, we have Singing ABC. And this is definitely a super quick little stitch. Again, it uses the blue, baby blue gingham and some wool felt and this pretty little red quilting star on the back. Such a cute little one. And then the last one is called This Land. And this was almost the one I stitched. I probably haven't shown you guys, I actually don't know the order I'm going to be showing this in, but I stitched the cherry season, but I almost stitched this one just because of this little cherry border. I mean, I also like the saying, but I just really wanted to stitch that. So I think this might be the next one I have to stitch out of the book. And again, she did the piping with the rounded corners and a little piece of quilt fabric on the back, crushed walnut shells. And this is on the same as this, which is a light pink Zweigart by 32 count light pink Zweigart. So super cute. That is all the cross stitch patterns that are in this book. So also included in the trunk show were these super cute little bowl fillers that Susan made to kind of go along with the cross stitch designs. And they all look so good together in a bowl. It's really making me want to stitch everything in this book and make some little cute cubes and little circles, a little like kind of tomato, a big tomato. This is like some wool felt toppers. Such a cute idea. And I did take a minute to pretend that these were all mine and decorate my front entryway with them. So I'll put that little video in. I shared it on Instagram earlier. So yeah, I just think these all look so cute together. Look at this little sachet style pillow with some wool felt and some quilt cotton. Anyways, thank you so much to the Fat Quarter Shop for sharing these with me today and letting me play with them and show you guys. The book Summer Memories is available on Fat Quarter Shop's website, so I will have the link for it down below if you want to get your own copy. Also, they have very generously provided me with an extra copy of a book to give away to one of you guys. So if you would like to be entered into the Summer Memories giveaway, all you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment down below and use the word summer somewhere in your comment to be entered to win a copy of the Summer Memories book. So thank you so much, Fat Quarter Shop, for sending that trunk show and for offering up a book for the giveaway. I'll remind you again at the end of the video, but leave a comment below with summer if you want to be entered for the Summer Memories book giveaway. Big thank you to Fat Quarter Shop for sharing the trunk show with me. So this Summer Memories trunk show showed up to my house on Wednesday afternoon, I believe. And I immediately brought the box into my craft room, opened it up, and started digging through all of those models and got really, really inspired. And decided that I needed to make myself a super cute little Summer Memories pillow. So I was inspired by this one, which was the cherry season pattern that I just showed you. And yeah, I made myself a little cherry season pillow. And I recorded myself working through it, so I'll let that play now. Okay, so completely inspired by getting this trunk show in the mail, I decided I needed to stitch one of these little pillows for myself. So in the book, it tells you what Susan did all these models with, and most of it is a 32 count with 2 strands of Aura Floss, which is embroidery floss by Aurifil. And I don't have any Aura Floss, so I already knew I was going to just pick colors out of my stash, and I prefer to stitch on 36 or 40 count, so I knew, you know, I would make mine smaller, but I just absolutely fell in love with this little finish with the fabric around the edges and knew I wanted to make my own. So what I did is I had this piece of 40 count Zweigart blush pink linen. So this is actually Zweigart light pink in 32 count, and this is blush pink. So you can just see this is just a little bit of a lighter shade of pink, and it's just something I had in my stash because I've been buying all that pink fabric lately. So putting some to use here. And then I went through my thread colors or my overdyed floss stash, and I used Palomino for the brown for the trunk. I used, let's see, moss, this very kind of variegated light to dark green. I think is so pretty for the leaves because it kind of makes the leaves look like you use multiple colors. So that is Moss by Weeks Dye Works. And then I used Candy Apple for the little cherries. And then Rosy Glow is the little pink highlight in all of the cherries. So those are my colors, my floss conversion. So mine turned out just a little bit deeper and darker, I guess, than the model, but I'm so happy with how this turned out. I think it's so cute. And of course mine's on 40 count, hers is on 32, so you can see the size difference there. So now I'm going to turn mine into a pillow, and I think I'm going to do the same thing she did where I just border the cross stitch with fabric. And then I haven't decided, I don't have any piping, I don't think, so I don't think I'm going to do a piped edge. I think I might do some rickrack in the edging, or possibly a bound edge, like I do on bigger quilted pillows, but I haven't thought that far ahead. So first I am going to prep my cross stitch by adding some interfacing to it and getting it cut out. And then I'm going to kind of play around. These are some fabrics I pulled. Of course, I have some cherry fabric, which I thought might be cute because this is called, actually, I don't remember what it's called. Let me look it up. So yeah, this one is called Cherry Season. That's the one I stitched. So I think on my 40 count, I'll be able to cut out a 3.5 by 3.5 inch square. So it'll be 3 inch finished, and that will fit in the center of a 3 inch square. I had thought about doing a sawtooth star block because that is really featured heavily in a lot of her quilt designs. You can see there's like stars, stars, stars. So lots of good stars in here, but I think I want it to be a little bit smaller of a pillow. I think if I add stars, like it'll come out, well, it might come out actually to be about this size. I don't know. I'll get this cut out and prepped and think about it. Maybe I'll do a sawtooth star block around it instead of just fabric. Let's see. Oh no. Okay, so when I did my 3.5 by 3.5 inch square, I didn't have this centered very well, so I narrowed it down to a 3.25 by 3.25 inch square, which means my stitching is gonna come really close to it, but I think that's okay. It also means that I don't think I want to figure out the math on a 2.75 inch center sawtooth star. I don't think. So I think I'm just going to do a simple fabric border like Susan did on her. So now I need to decide what I want that fabric border to be. I mean, I really kind of feel like I want to do the cherries. Or the red's also really good. Maybe I'll do the red on the front and I'll do the pink cherries on the back. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna cut 2-inch strips out of my quilt fabric. And anytime I have like a full half yard of fabric that I'm about to cut a small piece of fabric out of, what I like to do is separate it and create one fat quarter so I can add this to my fat quarter stash. And then I'll use the other half to cut out my small pieces, and then this will go into the scrap bins to get cut down further later. I think there's a nick somewhere on my rotary blade. I need to change that because I keep miscutting. Yep, for sure. I just stack up used blades in a rotary cutter case. That way when it gets full, I can throw them out and I won't worry about like having blades in the garbage, you know? So that's the used ones. Okay, let me get this sewn together really quickly. Okay, so here is what it looks like with my little red fabric border. And I'm definitely gonna cut this down a little bit. I don't want it to be quite so red. And I'm trying to decide if I want to do the rounded corners or not. I should probably pick a trim first, and that might help me decide if I want to attempt some rounded corners. This is super cute. I might try this vanilla rickrack. I know it's like not quite the same shade of white, but I feel like it's kind of between the pink and the white. I feel like that would be a better accent. I also have the tiny red. Or what if, no, I don't want to cover up the stitching anymore. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use this vanilla rickrack. I wonder if I should try to do a curve with it, or if that's crazy. Well, let me get this trimmed down and I'll decide. You know what, that's okay. I'm just gonna do normal square corners. I'm thinking about it. And I don't think I'm gonna try a curve with the rickrack. I've just never tried it before and I'm not sure how it would turn out. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew my rickrack on. But maybe first, let me cut out the backing of my pillow so I can do everything at once at the sewing machine. Cute, okay, and that will go on the back. And do I have enough rickrack? I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, plenty of rickrack. Okay. Okay, I got the rickrack on. I sew it on in 4 pieces rather than continuous, and I have mini videos, or maybe a couple of videos where I show how to do this, so I will link one of those below. So now I'm going to attach my back, and I'm going to leave a hole on the bottom for turning right side out. So here is the pillow sewn right sides together. I am going to just trim off these corners, being careful not to trim into the seam, just to get a little bit of bulk of that rickrack and fabric out of there. some reason, I caught a little too much of my rickrack in the seam, so I might adjust this top seam. It's all good on the bottom. Yeah, I'm just gonna adjust that top. Okay, yeah, you can see like where my baseline is and then where I actually sewed, and that's why I took a little bit too big of a seam allowance up here. So I'm just going to seam rip this top carefully because I did lose a little fabric there. Okay, I'm gonna re-sew the seam slightly inside of that previous line I made. Okay, let's turn this back inside out. Okay, perfect. So now you can see how much more this kind of sticks out on the top there. So, fixed that problem. Okay, I'm gonna press this nice and flat before I fill it. Okay, so I have my little pillow all nicely pressed. Here's a little cherry backing. I think it's super cute. And so I'm gonna fill from the bottom and then I will hand stitch the bottom closed to finish it. So I have a couple of sizes of crushed walnut shells. This one, so these both came from my sister. Her husband, I think his company uses these. I don't remember. She asked me if I wanted, she knew I use crushed walnut shells and pillows, and so asked me if I wanted some. But I think this size is just a little bit too small because when I hand stitch the bottom, I don't want to be worried about the walnut shells coming out. So this is definitely a thicker mix than probably what is most often sold, but I have used this, I just used this in my Itch to Stitch pillow and I really liked it. So even though it's a little bit chunkier, I know I'm not gonna be worried about it falling out of the pillow through the seams or anything. So I think I'm gonna keep using this chunky walnut shell. And that is what Susan's pillows are filled with. I mean, I don't know, I guess 100%, but based on feel, it feels like they have crushed walnut shells. And it definitely feels more like the consistency of this type of thin mix, but I think I'm gonna use my chunky one. But yeah, I just love the weight of the pillows when they have the walnut shells. Okay, I got a needle threaded. I just used a double strand of my regular sewing machine Aurifil that I use. Okay, so what I like to do is an invisible stitch to kind of weave back and forth between the ends of the pillow. So I just need to be a little bit careful with the rickrack so I just don't let my stitches show. But that's also why I'm using this neutral thread. So if my stitches do go through the rickrack on the outside, like it won't really be super noticeable, so. Okay, and right here is where I try to decide if I need to add any more crushed walnut shells. I think I will just add a little bit more. Okay, and now we have my little pillow all finished up. This was my inspiration by Susan Aki, and here's how mine turned out. So cute. So now instead of being sad when I have to send these all back to the Fat Quarter Shop tomorrow, I'll still be happy because I have my own version now. Now I just need to make the other 12 designs in the book. So that is my cherry season pillow, and I am so excited to be able to add this to my little summer pillow bowl. And you know, maybe eventually I will have all of the designs from that book stitched, and then I will have my own little front table display with my version instead of just playing pretend with Susan's version. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much to the Fat Quarter Shop for sharing this trunk show and for inspiring me to stitch my very own little summer memories pillow. Okay, I have one more FFO to share with you this week, and that is this. I made a purse. If you saw my Saturday Sew With Me vlog, you've already seen this. Oh, and I think I posted it on Instagram too, but I had to include it because this is one of the things I made in the last 2 weeks. This is a pattern by Minky Kim called the Flower Garden Crossbody Bag, and it's one I've had in my stash for probably about a year, and I was collecting little mini charm packs thinking I would just use a mini charm pack, and I looked through them and was kind of not uninspired, but just like nothing was really calling to me. And then I spotted my bin of 2.5-inch squares. I have been cutting all my scraps down into 2.5, 5-inch, and 10-inch squares. And I was like, just pull all your favorite red and pink scraps and there you go. So that's what I did. I used my 2.5-inch square scrap stash plus a fat quarter for the extra fabric on the sides and the back. It's got a little pocket on the back. And I'm already using it. I've been using it all week. I didn't intend to start using it immediately, but I put my stuff in it to like show it off in that video and then to take some pictures. And then I just never took my stuff out. And now I've just been using it. But I definitely need to get some, what is it called? Not spray starch. What's the stuff that your mom would like spray on the couch in the 90s? Mom, what was that stuff? Oh, I had it in my head. It's the like protective coating stuff that you can spray on like fiber goods, you know, to like, is that the right word? Upholstery. I really hope I'm just like, I put like a can of it up on the screen. I know I'm going to think of it in 2 seconds. Anyways, because I know I'm going to get this fabric dirty and I've already gotten like a little tiny scuff on it, like somewhere up here. So anyways, it's fine. I am obsessed with this bag and, super cute. I lined it in that black and white, and then I just got all my stuff in it. And then this strap is just they said leather, but I'm pretty sure this is a faux leather adjustable strap from Amazon. It was probably like $10 or $12 and just clips on to the little D-rings, and it's perfect. So I am super excited about this new purse. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I'll link you to the pattern down below. And then it was also in my vlog from last week if you want to go back and watch me put this bag together. So those are my FFOs this week. Okay, let's talk about whips. I think I warned you guys in my last video that this episode might be a little bit boring because my whip go goals for April ended up being one project. I had put my Mirabilia Florentina on my whip go board twice, and both of those numbers were called for April. So my assignment was 20 days of stitching on my Mirabilia in April. And I thought I would be done by today. What is today? The 22nd? I think so. I'm filming this on Saturday night. But I had one day where I didn't stitch at all, which is so rare for me, but it happened at the kind of beginning of April. And then I took one night off to work on my cherry season pillow. I was like, what did I do? Yes, that little summer memories pillow that I just showed you. So I have 2 more nights left on my Mirabilia. So I've done 18 days of progress and it has come a long way. So I filmed a little clip of this top down because this is a bigger whip. So I'll insert that right here. Okay, so my one whip for the past 2 weeks has been this Mirabilia Florentina. And I'll put a picture up on the screen of what it looked like when I started my 20-day whip go goal. I have been stitching on this now for 18 days in the month of April, and this is what it looks like now. So I made a lot of progress. Just taking it all in. I have 2 days left to stitch on this. I took a little break to start that summer memories pillow I showed you earlier. So I thought I would have this done in the first 20 days of April, but instead I took a little break and I had one day where I didn't stitch at all. So I have 2 days left to stitch on this, and I was hoping to kind of have the whole bottom done, which would mean getting the cat done as well. But I don't know that that's going to happen in the next 2 days. I'm going to get as much of this filled in as I can, but I'm really pleased with how much progress I've made. I'm definitely way farther along than when I started. So I'm stitching this on a 32 count Picture This Plus Chalice, and I'm using all the called for DMC and Water Lily Silk colors. So yep, that is my progress on my Whip Go goal for April, which is both of my Whip Go goals. So there she is, 2 more days. So you will see Mirabilia, Florentina in my next Flosstube update for those final 2 days. But yeah, just really, really pleased with the amount of progress I've gotten, even though I really wanted to finish all the way across the bottom and get that cat in, but it's okay. I'm more than halfway done with it now because the way this chart is done, this whole bottom section is 1 page, and then this is the other page. And so, I mean, you can see how like the majority of the stitching is in the lower half. So I'm definitely halfway through the stitching. So that's really exciting. I don't know that I'm going to get it to a finish this year, only because I have so many other Whip Go goals still to be, you know, accomplished throughout the year. So we'll see if I can get back to this, but it might get a finish next year. We'll see. Okay, let's talk about sewing, because I have finally gotten my sewing bug back, and I've been sewing so much over the last 2 weeks. And I'm so thrilled about it. I shared a little bit of this in my Saturday vlog that I keep mentioning. So apologies if this is kind of double dipping, but I like to share everything that I've gotten up to in the last 2 weeks in these videos. And then I know I do kind of like some one-offs, so sometimes I guess I double up on content. It's fine. Anyways, so one thing is I sewed 3 more of my Starstruck 2 star blocks. So I have this one and this one and this one. So 3 new with these. You know, I think I'm up to 20 of my star blocks done. So I think I have 40 more left to make. So I'm getting there, still slow going. I'll put a picture up of my progress from 2 weeks ago that I shared with you guys. I've only made 3 more blocks, so I didn't lay it all back out to take another picture, but here's what, you know, it's looking like so far, and still loving it. Just slowly chugging away because I realize I just can't power through these blocks because I get bored and annoyed. And now I know that about myself. Okay, and then besides the crossbody bag that I showed you, I started doing a little bit of clothes sewing. I got some rayon at my local quilt shop last weekend. They have a decent selection of kind of non-quilting fabrics, including some knits and rayons and wovens. And I made myself a shirt, a collared button-down shirt out of rayon. I'm pretty proud of myself. I have not made clothes in so long. And I talked about this in last Saturday's video. It all was sparked because I was cleaning out my closet and I found a dress that I made 12 years ago, 2011. Yeah, so 12 years ago. And I was a little sad because it was a little bit big. And I was like, oh, I can just take it in. You know, I made this dress. I can take it apart and take it in. And then I was like, maybe I should make clothes again. I haven't made clothes in, I think, 12 years. So I bought some rayon, and then I found a shirt pattern and I went for it. So let me show you that shirt. Oh, okay. I just did a Peloton aerobics class, so my face is bright red. Whatever. Okay, so this was kind of an experiment for me, and I think if I had to do it over again, I think my darts are a little bit high. They're a little bit high up on my bust. I think they need to be down about 1 inch or 2. And then I think the overall length, I should have extended it about 1 inch or 2 inches. Here's my jean waistband. So, I mean, it's not super short, but I think I would have liked maybe another inch on the length. And of course I need to add the buttons, but yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I've done a collar before, but it's been 10-15 years. So, I mean, I was pretty proud of myself for how this turned out, especially with rayon. I think this was actually my first time sewing with rayon, and it wasn't as hard as I thought. I was really worried about the slipperiness of it, but I watched some videos and some tutorials on YouTube about how to sew with rayon. I got a smaller needle. I made sure to pin everything, press lightly with light heat. Yeah, anyways, still need to add the buttons, of course. I just didn't have any, and I haven't been over to Joann's to get any, or maybe I'll just order them online, but I just safety pinned it for now so you can kind of see the fit. I think the first button goes about right, like mid bust right here. So yeah, super cute. And I think I will definitely make this pattern again, possibly in one of the Ruby Star wovens. I just saw there's a new collection of the, what are they called? Warp and Weft. I'll put a picture up on the screen. They're gorgeous. And so I kind of want to try this shirt in like, I don't know, maybe a different type of fabric. But it was just fun to sew clothes again. So even though this turned out kind of like a fancy Hawaiian shirt and there's a couple of little fit issues, I think it's still cute and I'll still get some wear out of it this summer. So yeah, okay, that's my my clothes sewing for the week. I didn't even notice little honey here in the background. Hi, honey. Hi. You in your favorite spot? So here it is, just hanging in my craft room. Just still have to add the buttons and buttonholes, but I just have not run out to buy those. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. I haven't sewn clothes in forever, and I was just really pleased with like how well it actually turned out, especially with rayon, which I've never sewed with before, but you know, I guess my sewing skills transfer a little bit. And I watched a lot of videos, a lot of how-tos. If I can, I'll dig through my YouTube history and I'll link a really good channel that I watched all about rayon. So yeah, that is what I've been sewing on these past 2 weeks. And I definitely will be making another one of these with some different fabric and making the modifications. I think I just talked about that, so I won't talk about it again. But yeah, I'll be making some modifications and making it again in a different fabric. But yeah, that is my Gilbert top. Oh, and in case I didn't mention it in that little short clip of me wearing it, the pattern is by Helen's Closet, which is Canadian-based pattern maker who I discovered on Instagram, and that is the Gilbert top. And I made view B, which is like the longer one that doesn't have the little tie in the front. So yeah. Okay, I have a little bit of happy mail to share with you guys, and the first thing is from Minky Kim. I mentioned her earlier because I used her pattern, the Flower Garden crossbody bag, to make that purse, and she saw my video and my post on Instagram and was just so sweet, reached out and was asking me if I wanted any of her other patterns. And she has a new release that I was like, oh yes, I want that one. So she kindly gifted me her new pattern, which is this. It is the Square Dance bags, Square Dance mini bags. I can't remember, I'm putting it up on the screen right here. But again, it's a project that uses charm squares to make a really cute patchwork little handbag design, and I love it. So I need to find a cute short little over the shoulder leather strap and make myself a little, you know, clutch version or a little like over the shoulder version. Yeah, so thank you, Minky Kim, so much for that pattern. I can't wait to make that bag. The next piece of happy mail made my entire week. This was so exciting. Let me make sure I have your name right. Debbie, my fellow Texan. She reached out and asked if she could mail me a little something. And I was like, sure. And this showed up in the mail and I'm so excited. She made me a project bag. So I'll start with the back. It's got this adorable little mouse and strawberry print, right? They're mice. Yeah. Little mice and strawberries. But guess what's on the front? Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. She said she found this little embroidery design and just thought it reminded her of me, and she embroidered my name on it and made this little panel and made me a project bag. And it's all lined and the green zipper. It's just so cute, and I just love having things with my name on it. I just love this. I have an Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch project bag. Debbie, thank you so, so much. It is so beautiful, and I cannot wait to put a project in here now that I've shown it off on my channel. She also told me how she had embroidered it first, and when she cut it down, didn't leave a big enough seam allowance to sew it into the bag, so she had made it again. So she included the kind of like you know, I don't know, what would you call this? Like the one that didn't work in the bag in case I wanted to do anything with it. So I don't know what I'll do with this, but I might just like pin it up on my pegboard or something because it's so cute. So Debbie, thank you for thinking of me and making this for me. I really appreciate it. Haul. Again, these I showed in my Saturday sewing video, but I'm going to show them again here because I talked about these in my last video, and I know a lot of you guys went and signed up for the same Fat Quarter Club. And this is the Laundry Basket Quilts monthly Fat Quarter Club. I got my first shipment and they're beautiful. It comes in this beautiful little box, like all packaged, like a gift. Like this be excellent to just wrap up and gift a quilter friend. I'm gonna probably end up taking them out and putting them in my Fat Quarter storage system, so I'll have to like refold them, but they're just beautiful. And my friend Rita was telling me that the March colors were like corals and greens, and so then April was kind of these blues and creams, and so I cannot wait to see what May colors are. Anyways, I'm very excited about this Fat Quarter Club, and it seems like a few of you are too, because I think some people have been going and signing up. So yay, welcome. Thanks for joining me. Sorry I enabled so many of you to also buy Fat Quarters, but we're gonna make beautiful quilts out of them, aren't we? Speaking of Fat Quarters, I got my Ruby Star Society quarterly club shipment. I'm pretty sure I didn't show this. What I do want to show though, is this was sitting on my dining room table for maybe about a week. I'm really bad at just like when stuff comes that I know I want to show in the video, I like open all the mail on the dining room table and I just like start a little haul stack basically. And so this was sitting on the dining room table, and the cats love plastic and love to like bite it and puncture it. And so there's tiny little claw marks, which I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see them, right? Of them just like poking their claws in here. So anyways, I had to rescue this from the dining room and bring it back here. So this is a quarterly club from Fat Quarter Shop. They send you 12 Ruby Star Society Fat Quarters, a matching spool of thread, and then a exclusive pattern to use the Fat Quarters. So yay, that's my April club. Then I had another just normal order from Fat Quarter Shop with a few things I wanted, including the new Blackbird Designs Crowns and Shields book. I think this super long pillow design is so cool. So I don't know when this will get stitched, but I wanted to add this to my stash. So I picked up this booklet. And then I was looking through their new cross stitch fabric, and they had some Picture This Plus, 36 count, my fave. And so I got a piece, a Fat Quarter of Bramble by Picture This Plus. So not sure if they still have any of this on their shop, but I love to pick up 36 count Picture This Plus anywhere I see it. Oh, and then I also got this one. So Stacy Nash was one whose room I never got to visit at Market. I think the couple times I kind of was near her room, it was too busy to go in. So I didn't want to bug her. But anyways, I wanted to pick up the Walk Through the Garden pin keeps. So this is a little series she does of 3 tiny little pin pillows, and I have the winter ones that look kind of like quilting designs. I did one of them last year. So this is the new kind of springy version, right? A Walk Through the Garden. Yeah. So I picked up that. And I think that's all the haul. I did have some other quilty related haul, but I showed all of that in my Saturday sewing video. So I'll leave that alone for now. Otherwise, I'm just really repeating everything. What else? Oh, okay. So this is not cross stitch or quilting related, but I do have one thing I bought that I wanted to share with you. And that is a neon sign that I found on Etsy that I got for my craft room. And it's not really crafty or sewing related in any way. It is just a phrase that I enjoy. So I'm turning 40 this year. When I turned 16, the album of the year at the time was Shania Twain's Come On Over. So I have every word of that album memorized still, and I probably haven't listened to it in 10 years, but Let's Go Girls has always been like, you know, I don't know, my favorite. I just love saying it about everything. Let's go girls. And it's like my sisters and I sing because we're all girls. It's always like, I don't know. It's just, Why am I trying to explain my love of Shania and Let's Go Girls? Anyways, I bought a neon sign, a pink neon sign for my sewing room that says Let's Go Girls, and I freaking love it. And the quality is so nice, especially for the price. It's not actual neon, it's LED light simulating a neon light, but it looks spectacular and it has a dimmer switch on it. It was super easy to install. I'm staring at it because it's right here. If you're in the market for a neon sign, I'm going to link this Etsy shop down below because I think they'll make any design you want, and they just have tons of stuff in stock, including, okay, so I've been talking to Rob about where else can we put a neon sign in our house because I love it so much. And they have this orange cat wearing a cowboy hat. Like, I kind of want to put it in our living room. My house is not decorated in such a way that neon signs would really necessarily fit in, except for like obviously in the craft room, which is very like silly and bright. But I'm like, do I want to become the kind of person who has neon signs in the rest of their house? Maybe, because who doesn't love an orange cat and a cowboy hat? Okay, anyway, that's my very silly piece of haul that I wanted to share with you guys. And with that, I think that's all I have. Hopefully this is a fun video. I was worried that I wouldn't have anything to share because, you know, I worked on one project for most of the week, but I also made a shirt and I made a purse and I had all this wonderful, beautiful cross stitch made by Susan Aki to share with you. I'm kind of fangirling that like stuff that Susan Aki made with her own hands is sitting here in front of me on my craft table. I have to return it tomorrow, so I don't get to keep it, but you know, it's fun to pretend that it's all mine. Okay, before I get more rambly, I'm gonna leave it here and say thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with a Stitch North recap and to show you what I've been up to. So I'll see you then. Bye.
Well, hi. Hi, guys. Do you want to be the outro to my video? Can you tell everybody thanks for watching? Can you say thanks for watching? Good night.